Happy Tuesday, Dolphins fans. Welcome into Dolphins Today by Chat Sports. I am Nic Rohloff, live here on a Tuesday afternoon. Not our normal Monday times. Unable to go live yesterday. I had to do a Heat basketball game. If you're a Heat fan, what a game that was, losing to the Jazz. Nonetheless, we have a lot of Dolphins football to talk. We got some news heading into free agency. David Njoku, one of the best tight ends in free agency this upcoming March, announced that he will not re-sign with the Cleveland Browns on Instagram late last night. Are the Dolphins a team that could sign the former Miami Hurricane in free agency? We know the Dolphins are going to look to add a tight end to this roster. We also have to talk about ESPN sending a powerful message to Dolphins fans in the 2026 outlook. And they ranked Miami in the power rankings, and you can guess it, it's pretty low. We'll also talk about some dream free agent targets and do a Q&A to wrap up today's show as always. But first, shout out your city for me down in the comment section and welcome in producer Coop. How are the real ones doing today? Coop, how are you doing?
Oh, it is great to see all the real ones here in the chat. Beautiful Tuesday afternoon here in Dallas. A great afternoon to talk some Miami Dolphins football. Feels like there's a lot of items that we need to discuss here on today's show. And the Dolphins rebuild will begin in less than a month with the start of 2026 NFL free agency.
We are officially less than a month. It's crazy. Like, free agency officially begins the tampering period on March 9th. It's February 10th, so we are less than a month away. And even though Miami isn't going to have a lot of ammunition to spend in free agency, right? They currently are projected to have negative $16 million in cap space. They got to move on from Tyreek Hill, move on from Tua Tagovailoa. It's kind of going to be, I hate to call it a gap year, Coop, but that's where it really feels like this is heading, to where Jeff Hafley, John Eric Sullivan, their priority this offseason is going to try to lay the foundation for future years with cheap young free agent signings, hopefully hitting in the draft, 8 projected picks, 5 of them in the top 90, but also clean up their cap and their books. So in 2027 and beyond, they're in a healthier spot to go out and spend in free agency and extend players that they need to extend. So this feels like a little bit of a gap year, but there will still be some, shots in the dark and dart throws, if you will, in free agency that we'll have to talk about. And maybe one of them is David Njoku. But shout out to MDW in Fort Wayne, Indiana, Stewart in Glasgow, XI in Northern New York, Wasim in Irvine, California, MDW in the building as always, Richard, North Carolina, Jeff in Yucaipa, California? Is that right?
I don't know. Never heard it.
Boca Raton for Slaying Cat, Memphis for Lanky, Thomas in Richmond, Virginia, Phillips in the building in South Florida, South Carolina for Jorge. We got a lot of real ones in the building. And that brings me to this. We already kind of outlined a little bit about the offseason outlook for Miami. Which part of the offseason are you more fired up for? Is it NFL free agency, which is a month away in early March, or is it the NFL draft, which is still about 7-8 weeks away in late April? I know my answer pretty easily.
It's the draft.
Yeah, I think most people will answer the draft, but I was genuinely curious.
Yeah, the draft is clearly where the Dolphins can make the most hay as far as setting that baseline and improving this team. With the number 11 overall pick, 5 of the top 100, correct?
5, you could just limit that to one. Top 100 sounds nice, but we could even just go down to top 90.
5 of the top 90, like you're expecting to find, well, you're not expecting, you need to find 3 starters?
3 starters. And you need to find 3 starters for this year, but you also need to find 3 players. Like, I'm telling you right now, if we are a year from now and we are skeptical about there being no 3 building blocks, that's a failure.
Absolutely. No, yeah, no question about it. You've got to find building blocks that are cheap, affordable contracts, and you do it through the draft, no question.
Yeah, I'll say this. I think most fans are more they like the draft more, I think I would have to say, as long as you have a first-round pick. If you're an NFL team without a first-rounder,
bad.
What do you do in the entire offseason?
I know. Well, yeah, what do you talk about? Like, what do you scout? What do you
unless you have like $100 million in cap?
Exactly. I mean, it's the most boring thing ever to not have a first round pick. I'm glad the Dolphins have theirs at 11 for sure.
It wasn't always the case. I mean, it was just a couple of years ago they didn't have one. Their first pick in 2023 was in the second round. They took Cam Smith, the biggest fucking bum of all time.
Yeah, I believe Cam Smith signed in the UFL.
Yeah, he's no longer in the NFL.
So he is. Yeah.
Attaboy, Chris Greer. Attaboy.
I mean, what a disaster Chris Greer's tenure was. I mean. Yeah, I mean, the terrorist is gone. This team hasn't won a playoff game in 25 years for a reason. So
Chris Greer sucks.
I mean, he's horrible. Hopefully, John Eric Sullivan can bring some of that Packers culture.
I don't know if that happened, but there was rumors out there that Cleveland was going to add Chris Greer to their front office.
I saw that.
I'm not sure if they did.
I can't remember. I'll do a quick search.
But this brings me to this as well here. As we look to rebuild, it's likely going to be a gap year. Over, under 6.5 wins for the Dolphins in 2026. I think 6.5 is a great number. I don't know if Vegas has odds out on the win total for Miami just yet. I don't know how they could, considering they have absolutely no clue who's playing quarterback for the Dolphins. But heading into the draft, heading into the offseason, do the Dolphins win 7 games or more, or are they going 6 or less?
It's absolutely 6 or less. They will end
Okay, I didn't know where you were going to go with this. I thought you were going to be the optimist.
Oh, no. They'll end up with the worse record than they had last year. There's no question.
I would agree, but I'll also say, Coop, how bad were the Dolphins this past year and they finished with 7 wins?
No, they're the worst 7-win team maybe in the history of the NFL, and I'm not.
Oh, I buy that. I buy that theory.
They were a bad ball club, and they found their way into 7 wins. Like, it easily could have been 4, but on the contrary, it easily could have been 9. Like, there were a couple games.
It could have been 10.
Exactly.
If they don't blow the lead to the Chargers, they don't blow the lead to the Panthers, and if they don't give up a kick return touchdown in the fourth quarter of the New England Patriots in week 2, there's 3 wins and you're 10-7.
Yeah, there are so many games that they could have won that they pissed away. Embarrassing.
Jeremy Chuggs is one.
I don't know what Chuggs
what
is
he
up
going
to
to do here?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, he's talking about soccer.
I know.
Go Leeds.
They're going to lose.
Go Leeds. Go Leeds.
Oh, no. That one's worse. We choked away a 2-goal lead here in the last 10 minutes.
Oh, I seen this going around. Yeah. So he's got to win to cut the hair.
Correct.
And if he doesn't, got to go wait. Jesus.
Chelsea was up 2-0, and now it's 2-2.
I'll say this, Coopin. How about this? The live chat, if you look at the people typing over or under in the live chat, Coop, I would say 75% of the people are saying under in the live chat.
Which is shocking to me.
But if you go to the live poll, Coop, 71% of the live poll is saying over. So there's a bunch of cowards out there
they don't want to put
voting
their name
over,
on it.
but not confident enough to say it in the live chat.
I just can't see a world where this team has more than 6.5 wins. I can't see it.
Would agree.
Unless
I think there is a pathway, but with Miami having the second hardest schedule next year based on strength of schedule of opponents and how they finished this last year, it's going to be difficult. Which is crazy to say, by the way, a third-place team and a third-place schedule being the hardest in the NFL, kind of wild.
Yeah. And we have the second most difficult schedule, correct?
Second most difficult.
Yeah.
We got to go. The problem is the divisions we play. We play the AFC West and the NFC West.
Yeah.
And those third-place teams, Coop, in those divisions, not you play them anyway, but you look around the AFC in the third place, the AFC South third place ended up being the Colts.
Yeah, who are going to be good.
That's going to be a tough game.
Yeah.
The AFC North third place team, going to be the Bengals.
Yeah.
That's not easy. So it's just kind of tough to schedule the way this ultimately played out for Miami. You think a third place schedule is going to be relatively easy? Not the case.
Not so. It never quite works out that way either, where it's the second most difficult schedule.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure Miami was supposed to have like a top 10 hardest schedule this year, and they ended up with like the 30s.
Exactly.
So like you can't bank on the schedule before the year to be hard or easy. That's why when everybody talks about the schedule with other teams out there, I know it's been a large topic about the Patriots. Like, I will never make a big deal of the schedule. You play who you play, and you see what happens.
Schedule is the schedule.
We need more likes, folks. We got over 120 people watching. Hit that thumbs up icon. Let's get to 50 likes. We need 21. We need 21. Was I off on this? Do we not play the AFC West? I thought we played the West.
I thought we did as well.
No, I'm pretty sure we play the West.
Yeah.
Wasim said the Bears play the AFC East. I don't think that's true.
I'm pretty sure we play the West.
Yeah, I think we played both the West.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know if that's true.
Well, keep hitting that thumbs up icon. And we did get our first super chat of the day as well. That we'll get to here. Terpst coming in with the $10 super chat. It says, I want David Njoku, Greg Dulcich, Greg Newsome, and I tried to trade down in the first round. If the guy we want isn't on the board, fins up.
Oh, I was off, Coop. We play the
North?
We play the North.
How about that?
I didn't know that. I'm off. So we don't play the West? Oh,
Do we play the AFC West and then the NFC North? Is that what it is?
Oh, you know where I'm getting it's the NFC North and the AFC West.
Yeah.
Where I was getting confused, I remember it being a talking point late in the year about like, oh, you're going to either play the 49ers or Rams, and in my head I said, oh, we're playing the West, but that's like the random third place crossover game. That was that 17th game that was added. So that's what it is. That's why we play the 49ers. So scratch that. We do play the North, which division's harder? The NFC West or the NFC North?
Yeah.
Toss up.
Wash.
Like, Bears are good, Vikings, whatever, but Packers and Lions are good.
Yeah.
So, actually, hot take, I'd rather play the NFC West. Because the Cardinals at least suck.
The Cardinals do suck, and then, I mean, in the North, you have the Vikings,
but
the
like,
Bears.
They're still, like, a relatively well-constructed team.
Sure, oh, yeah.
They just need to have adequate quarterback.
No, it certainly won't be easy whatsoever.
Well, we did get 50 likes. Appreciate it. Let me answer this question here from Terps. Not even question, more of a statement. Want David Njoku. We're going to talk about him here in a second. Greg Dulcich in. Greg Newsome in. Fun fact, you talk about Greg Newsome. I actually am going to mention him on my dream free agent target list. Trade down in the first round. If the guy that we want isn't on the board, fins up. I think there's going to be I am very open to trading down, but after thinking about it today, I think there's going to be a player that I want on the board at 11.
There will be a guy there.
And I wouldn't trade down.
I agree. There will be a guy there.
I think. Dennis is kind of catching my vibe about Sonny Styles at trade back. I am all in on Sonny Styles. Or Caleb Downs. Take an Ohio State defensive player at 11 and you're probably not going wrong. Probably not going wrong. All right, on today's show, the Dolphins got a gift. Heading in NFL free agency a month away. ESPN sends a message to the Dolphins in not so nice of a way. We'll talk about some dream free agent targets and then Miami Dolphins Q&A. Super chat to get on the mailbag. We got our guy Terpst on the mailbag. Corey Beltfaus is going to be on the mailbag. But if you don't want a super chat to guarantee a spot, make sure you're in the comment section. Use hashtag Dolphins and then attach a question in that comment to get on the mailbag. Corey saying, looking forward to see how this giant Zach Kuntz plays. We talked about him last Friday afternoon. Kuntz, Miami signed him from, I guess, technically the UFL. But he played with the Jets in 2023 and 2024, was on the training camp roster in 2025 of New York, got released, never picked up by another team. This guy is 6'8", 250, and when he was coming out of Old Dominion in 2023, a perfect RAS score, 10, the best RAS score, relative athletic score, by a tight end in the history of the NFL. The history of the NFL. Unbelievable. Excited to see if he can develop anything in Miami. That's what's coming up here on today's live show. We're going to get into our first segment here when Mr. Coop is ready. But just so you remember, get those questions in. We have 2 super chats for our mailbag. We'll do that in probably about, say, an hour or so. So make sure you get your questions loaded up. Use hashtag Dolphins in the live chat. But with that being said, let me take a sip of water, and then we're going to get into our first segment today. quick question here. Adam says, how many superstars do the Seahawks got? 2 or 3? I would label their superstar count at 4. JSN. I'm Devin Witherspoon. Byron Murphy. Oh, dude, the guy's a stud. This is a hot take, I think. I'm going to give superstar status. It's early. I already gave Witherspoon. Nick Emenwari. Guy's he's a dog. Like, he just was absolutely balling this year. Should have been defensive rookie of the year. You could also make the argument Kenneth Walker. He looked like a superstar in the playoffs. But I would say 4 or 5. 4 or 5. All right, let's do it. First segment coming up. Could David Njoku be returning to the Miami Dolphins this offseason? And when I say return to the Miami Dolphins, well, he never played for Miami. Well, not in the NFL, but he did play for the Hurricanes when he was playing collegiate ball. He was really good in Miami, and he actually ended up becoming a first-round pick. But the reason why we're talking about this is because on Monday night, he took to Instagram and posted a long, heartfelt message about how he is not going to be re-signing with the Browns this offseason. He is a free agent, one of the top free agents available at the tight end position, and would and should the Dolphins take a look at bringing in David Njoku. He's got a great size to him, 6'4", 246. I mentioned he was a first-round pick in the 2017 draft, went to Miami, so from the area in terms of playing college ball, was a Pro Bowler a couple years ago. And I'll say this, I am not stunned whatsoever by David Njoku admitting that he is not going to re-sign with Cleveland. Now, am I surprised he did it so far away from free agency in a public manner? Yeah, a little bit. But the Browns drafted Harold Fannin Jr. out of Bowling Green on day 2 of the draft last year, and he was sensational for them. One of the best rookie tight ends in the NFL. So it doesn't surprise me that Njoku's going to want to go somewhere where he could be the headliner at the tight end position once again, because he's had a very illustrious career. Help us out as we continue this show by sharing today's video. First 5 people to share this video on Twitter/X and tags me at Nic_Rohloff is getting a shout out. But you look at Njoku's career, he's been in the league a while, never really dealt with any crazy injuries, although he did miss a handful of games this season. He has amassed over 4,000 yards, 34 touchdowns, and I mentioned it just a couple years ago, he was an NFL Pro Bowler. Not that that means that much anymore, but I'll add this. And it's going to go to my conversation about if the Dolphins should sign Njoku or not. But I feel as if he might be aging/declining a little bit here. His numbers fell down this season. Now you could attribute that to Harold Fannin Jr., as I mentioned, coming in and taking a lot of the targets at that position. You could also attribute it to the horrific quarterback play they had of Joe Flacco, Dylan Gabriel, and Shedeur Sanders. But it's not only just the raw numbers where it's not looking good for Njoku, it's the advanced statistics as well. He was 39th in the NFL amongst tight ends in yards per route run. He was 40th in first downs per route run. He was 42nd in target separation, only creating about a yard of separation on his targets. And the EPA he added, only 48th in the NFL. So not very high. The advanced numbers don't favor him. And when you look at his numbers when going up against man coverage and zone coverage, once again, it will tell you this is a player that is on the decline, ranking in the bottom 10 in practically every statistic when going up against man coverage. And yeah, a little bit better against zone coverage, but still not amongst the top 30 tight ends in the NFL of tight ends that qualified. So with him being 29, his decline in play, and what he's going to command in free agency, you wonder if this would even be a smart decision for the Dolphins to go after David Njoku. And before I give you my opinion, Would you sign David Njoku in free agency? Type Y for yes, type N for no, today's pinned comment. Real quick before I give the final answer, it's also important to look at what you'd have to pay him in free agency. And the Spot Track contract projection for Njoku this March is a 2-year, essentially $20 million deal. So basically $10 million per season. And I'm just going to come out and say it, I'm not doing this. Miami, we have well documented it, not going to have a lot of cap space this year, not going to have a lot of opportunities to go out and spend a lot of money on a free agent. And I would say, when you look at how Miami's going to spend this offseason, I don't think they're going to have more than one player, receive $10 million or more in their AAV. Look at last year's free agent class. Similar cap space situation. The largest contract they gave out was James Daniels, 3 years, $24 million. So there might only be one player they spend $10 million per year on a multi-year contract in free agency, if they do it at all. And why would that be David Njoku? Just feels like there's better options out there, even at the tight end position, if you wanted to spend that type of money. But I do want to say, I titled this video, "The Dolphins Got a Gift," for a reason. And coming up in just 1 second, I'm going to explain why this is still a gift, even if Miami shouldn't go out and sign him. But we are sponsored by GLD. And let's be real here. Buying jewelry used to be a nightmare. Low-quality junk that snapped after a week or was insanely overpriced with ridiculous markups. That's why I rock with GLD. You're getting quality pieces that are built to last without breaking the bank. For a limited time only, new customers are getting an insane deal. Use code CHAT to get 50% off at GLD.com. GLD has an official collab with the NFL, so you can get every NFL team on a pendant this season. They also have collabs with other sports leagues like the NBA, WNBA, NBA, MLB, MLS, NCAA as well. You can create custom pieces, whether it's iced out chains or one-on-one pendant. GLD can bring it to life. For example, how about this Dolphins silver pendant with the silver chain? You could feel the quality in your hand. You can rock just the chain. You can get the pendant to go alongside with it. Customize your way with GLD. And for a limited time only, new customers get an insane deal. Use code CHAT to get 50% off at GLD.com. That's 50% off with code CHAT at GLD.com. After you purchase, they'll ask where you heard about them. Please support our show and tell them we sent you. I do think David Njoku announcing this early and publicly he's not going to re-sign with the Cleveland Browns is a gift for Miami. Because him not re-signing with Cleveland and the Browns likely not being in the market for a high-level tight end due to Harold Fannin Jr.'s breakout rookie season, that might help Miami land the tight end they want in free agency, because Njoku going somewhere else will satisfy one team's tight end cravings, which could allow one of these other tight ends that I want to slip through the cracks and ultimately land in Miami. We've shown this list quite a bit this offseason, but these are the top 8 tight ends in NFL free agency if you're asking me. And I do think it would be in the Dolphins' best interest to ultimately sign one of these guys. And I know all of us want to bring Greg Dulcich back. I do as well, but he's not a tight end one. You need to actually get a lead dog, whether it's in the draft or in free agency. And with Njoku's age being where it's at, 29, just about across 30, it doesn't really make sense for a team like Miami, who's looking to rebuild and create a culture and reshape this roster, to sign a 30-year-old who's likely going to be retired within 3 to 4 years. If you are going to sign a tight end in free agency, you should be looking at one that is 25, 26 years old. Which brings me to these 4 free agent targets. These are the core 4. If you're going to go make a splash and sign a tight end to a pretty healthy contract over multiple years, it should be either Kyle Pitts, Cade Otton, Chikakonkwo, or Isaiah Likely. We've talked about Kyle Pitts before. We've talked about Isaiah Likely. I really like Okonkwo. There's a lot of options here. And make sure you do lock us in here for daily Dolphins coverage, whether it's news, rumors, or more. Join the family. Subscribe today. We've talked about all of these guys. But it's also important to look at what they might make in free agency. And when you look at each of these 4 players' spot track projections for this March, obviously Kyle Pitts is going to get the biggest contract. Isaiah Likely, even though he isn't as productive as Chikakonku or Cade Otton in their career, is projected to get the second most because of his size and athleticism, as well as some of the big moments he has had with the Ravens and Lamar Jackson over the past couple of years. I think adding any of these 4 players would be really good for Miami. And I know people are going to say, why would you sign a tight end to that big of a deal before you even have a quarterback? Well, even if you get a Malik Willis, or maybe draft a quarterback, or even roll with Quinn Ewers again another year, there's a cliche out there for a reason. What is a young quarterback's best friend? Oh, it's a very big-bodied, reliable pass catcher over the middle of the football field, vertically as well as in short yardage check-down situations. So investing in tight end is a move that will not only help whoever's playing quarterback in 2026, potentially in 2027 and beyond as well. So if you're signing one free agency, I would go with one of those 4, all 25 or 26 years old, all making around $10 million per year in projections. I like those options. But if you didn't want to do that, you could go to the draft as well. It's a pretty good tight end class if you're asking me. The top 4 are very intriguing. Kenyon Sadiq, likely a round 1 guy out of Oregon. Day 2 targets, Max Clare, Eli Stowers, Michael Trigg. And if you want to look early day 3, a lot of people are fans of Joe Royer from Cincinnati, Justin Jolly from NC State. I've seen a lot of people be high on Eli Raridon as well from Notre Dame. I am absolutely fine re-signing Greg Dulcich, bringing back even Julian Hill if you want, and then ultimately drafting one in the top 90, and that's your tight end room. But the point is, invest in the tight end position, and if you're taking one in the top 90, that means you're likely going with a Sadiq, a Claire, a Stowers, or Michael Trigg, and one of those 4 guys could absolutely be a tight end of the future for Miami. You don't have to draft one early. There's many different ways to add tight ends. For example, Tucker Kraft for Green Bay, where our new GM is coming from. Where do they get him? In the middle rounds of the draft, out of a low-level school. So, yeah, you don't have to go invest in the first round and grab the Kenyon Sadiq. You can take one of those mid-round guys and maybe find your next tight end. That'll do it for today's show. Appreciate everybody for hanging out with us here. If you want more outside of our YouTube content on the Miami Dolphins, go follow us over on Twitter at Nic_Rohloff. One segment down. How should the Dolphins add a tight end this offseason? Should it be through free agency, type F, or should it be through the draft, type your Ds?
¿Por qué no los dos?
You're saying both.
Absolutely.
Sign a tight end, one of the core 4 that I'm gonna label them the core 4.
Correct.
And then draft one in the top 90 as well, or
absolutely.
Middle rounds.
Draft one in the top 90. Use one of those 5 picks on a tight end.
So you're saying go out, sign either Kyle Pitts, likely Okonkwo, Cade Otton, and then also draft one in the top 90? That's a lot of investment in the tight end room.
You should invest in the tight end room. It's one of the more important positions, one of the more underappreciated positions, I might add.
Well, people are with you. Adam says both. MDW says both. Richard says draft. John says re-sign Dulcich and Waller and then go to the draft. I don't know if I want Darren Waller back. I got to be honest. Just unable to consistently stay on the football field.
Don't need him.
One-dimensional in terms of he doesn't really add anything in the blocking game. Sure, he's a red zone threat. But bring me Dulcich and then either a draft pick or a signing. Lanky also says both. A lot of people want to invest in the tight end room.
I think it's an important position.
Now, here's a couple intriguing pairings, if you will. I think signing one free agency will determine the type of tight end you take in the draft. Because if you sign Cade Otton, who is a possession, decent blocking, physical tight end, I think I would target an explosive tight end in the draft.
Agreed.
Eli Stowers, Michael Trigg. If you go with a guy like Max Clare, or let's say that I went backwards here. You go with a guy like a Kyle Pitts or an Isaiah Likely in the free agency. Well, now I'm going to want more of a well-rounded tight end that can block a little bit.
Max Clare, Jack Endries.
Bingo.
Yeah.
So it would be fascinating to see if you do sign one of those top tight ends, how do you complement that with taking one in the draft if you did both? Because if you went with a Pitts or Likely, I'm probably going to want to go with more of a well-rounded tight end that can block and play right away in the run game.
Agreed.
But if you take a guy like Cade Otton or Chikakonku who can block a little bit as well, well then, all right, maybe we can think more explosive at the tight end position in the draft, which is more of the Michael Trigg, Eli Stowers prototype. I really like Michael Trigg. He's almost more of a big slot. Yeah, it's my early
You've
guy.
been talking about Michael Trigg since we were in the season.
It was in October.
Yeah, that's your guy. I know that's your guy.
I
like him.
Listen, I got sold. I watched one game and he went nuts, and I'm like, this guy's gonna be a stud.
I like him a lot, man. I mean, he's very solid. If you ended up with him, you could do a lot worse.
I'm a Michael Trigg guy in round 3. What can I say? We have 3 third-round picks.
Do you think Kyle Pitts? I know we've talked about Pitts multiple times. I don't know if he's a fit here.
Why not?
There's just something about. I can't put my finger on it. Kyle Pitts does not scream Miami Dolphin.
There's just something about him.
Something about him. And I'm a Kyle Pitts guy. As someone,
Are you now?
I'm a Florida Gator sympathizer, as you might know.
Sympathizer. You're a fan.
Sympathizer.
You're a fan.
No, after what they did to me last year, they're dead to me.
What they do to you?
Kicked the Horns out of the playoffs.
They didn't do anything. The Horns did it to themselves.
Maybe so. But it was at the hands of them.
Austin saying Kwankru and Claire. Sign me up.
I'm in.
Sir, let me shake your hand. Sir?
I want to shake
Sir,
your hand.
I want to shake your hand. Kwankru and Claire would be really fun. I think Kwankru is my sneaky favorite out of the free agent bunch. I said it today. By the way, you're going to see if you subscribe to our Chat Sports content, our main content. We filmed a walk-around short today. Who is your team and what free agent do you want to sign? I went Dolphins Chikakonku on that short. So I like
Chig a lot.
Chig.
We did get a $10 super chat coming in. It'll load.
You can do it. I believe in you.
I don't know if I can.
I believe.
It's not loading.
Coop can do it. Everyone type your C's. Let's hype up producer Coop. He needs the help. Can he do it?
It's not a me problem.
Can he do it?
I won't fold.
Can he do it?
There we go.
Can he do it?
He can.
Can he do it? Yes, he can.
He can.
Oh, I was hoping to get more Coop chants, man.
No, that's okay.
Coop needed it.
Don't need to chant for me.
Coop needed it, man.
Don't need to chant for me.
What about receivers? Do you think we keep Waddle or trade him? Another question. We also don't have any good quarterbacks. Do we draft, trade, or sign for agency? I know I'm not supposed to say anything. I want to drop the the report.
No, you can't. Well,
no one's gonna run with it.
You do it.
Nah,
I won't tell you what to do.
I
won't tell you what to do.
I shouldn't do it. I shouldn't do it.
I won't tell you what to do.
Yeah, I shouldn't do that. Yeah, I can't. Let's just say I have inside information about someone who is joining the Miami Dolphins front office, but I'm not allowed to tell. Then I'll leave it at that. Anyway, Sebastian Gomez. What about the receivers? Do you think we keep Waddle or trade them? Another question. We also don't have any good corners. Do we draft, trade, or sign in free agency? There will absolutely be, in the cornerback question, there will be a cornerback drafted by Miami this year. Whether that's in the first round, it's a guy like Jermod McCoy or Mansour Delane. Maybe. Will it be a guy in round 2 like a D'Angelo Pons? A Chris Johnson? Maybe. Who knows? But there will absolutely be drafts because we do not have any good quarterbacks for the future. You also see signings in free agency. I would imagine low-level moves, whether it's re-signing Jack Jones, re-signing Rasul Douglas.
Do you think it's one or the other?
They're not bringing back both. I can guarantee that. Yeah. So if they bring back one, it's one of them. It's not both. Wide receivers, do we trade Waddle? I don't think so. There's really no need to trade him because, yeah, you could say, all right, we could get a first-round pick in return, but if you do that, you'll just need a wide receiver. And there's really no cap relief for you either. Like, if you trade Jalen Waddle, if you look on over the cap, like, your cap number for him goes up
Yeah.
Now, I always get confused on how trades work. How much does a new team pay? How much does the team that had his contract pay? But based off what Over the Cap says, it doesn't sound like Miami would save any money there. So if you're not saving money, why would you trade Jalen Waddle just to create a need at wide receiver?
Yeah. You got to keep good players.
Like, you could get a first-round pick, sure, but then with your 2 first-round picks, you know what I'm going to be telling you that we need to draft? A wide receiver. So it's like, do you feel as if any of these wide receivers are going to be better than Jalen Waddle? I get they're going to be on a rookie contract for 5 years, but if you want to trade Jalen Waddle, just wait 1 year. Seriously, wait 1 year.
Yeah.
Like, because next year, I'm sure you could still get a first-round pick for Jalen Waddle, and then, though, you'd probably get more cap relief.
And next year, we could get Jeremiah Smith.
Yeah, you're correct. You'd have a higher draft pick than you are probably having this year. So, yeah.
All right. Segment number 2.
Yeah, let's keep it rolling here, Mr. Coop. What's this next one we got? We got ESPN Power Message.
You tell me.
Coop, I forget.
You tell me.
I've got bad memory. I've got the memory of a fish.
Do fish have bad memory?
Yeah, I think so.
Interesting.
You ever see Finding Dory?
I have, yeah. It's been a while, though.
Fish can't remember anything.
Well, Dory certainly can't remember anything.
Fish can't. There is a movie called Finding Dory, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's Finding Nemo, I believe. There's Finding Dory as well.
Yeah,
is there a Finding Nemo 2? No, I don't believe so.
We got a new producer shadowing us today.
Yeah, everyone
Ethan.
say hello to Ethan.
Yeah, Ethan, say
What's
hello.
up? What's up, Dolphins fans?
He is, even though I'm probably only 3 years older than you. How old are you? 22. Only 3 years older. The way he nodded his head when I asked the Finding Nemo and Finding Dory question makes me think he almost grew up with Finding Dory and not Finding Nemo.
I grew up with Nemo.
I don't know if I will believe Ethan. Just don't know if I will. All right, let's get into the second segment here. ESPN sent a powerful message to the Dolphins and Dolphins fans. Let's get into it. Producer Coop, you ready?
In 1 second. Now I am.
Producer Coop, too busy texting his hose.
Let's get on to the next segment.
All I ask, we're here to talk Dolphins football, and this guy's out there texting Alex Earl.
I wish. Oh, that'd be sad.
That's unbelievable. Is that true? Yeah. I know. I don't know if I buy it. That's a quick turnaround for Alex Earl to go from Braxton Berrios to Tom Brady. Is it? Listen, Berrios is a good-looking guy.
Well, Alex Earl was with Tom Brady at New Year's Eve. I mean, it's been... She went directly to him.
Shout out Berrios, man. Former Dolphin.
Former Dolphin.
Former Hurricane.
Yep. 305 guy.
They lived in Miami.
He did. Probably still does.
Probably. Too bad he stinks.
He's very bad.
Do you think that's why he left or she left? Now, I'm pretty sure I heard rumors that he cheated.
Yeah. She's probably got more paper than him, too.
Oh, at this point, absolutely.
There's no doubt.
Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
That's not even close.
Yeah.
She's the breadwinner. Yeah.
She also wasn't hurting, but...
What do you mean?
Like, before her fame.
She what?
She was not hurting before her fame.
Hurting.
Financially.
Comes from a rich family?
Oh, yeah.
Really?
Loaded.
New information to me.
Yep.
You know that because you're texting her.
Yes, absolutely.
That's
Me
what
and
I
Alex,
thought.
close and personal friends.
How do you spell her name?
ALIX.
You knew that way too quickly.
I'm on TikTok, dude.
Fucking gooner. All right, let's get this going.
Not to Alex Earl.
Didn't deny the allegations. Just said it was a different crop of what we're looking at. All right, anyway, here we go. Next segment on today's show. ESPN sent a powerful message to the Miami Dolphins to start off this offseason. They did their way too early power rankings following Super Bowl 60 this past weekend. They gave a 3-word description of each team heading into the offseason, and they mentioned, all right, how will Sully, how will Halfley start to build out this roster? But let's start with where Miami was in the power rankings, and it's no surprise to me, and it shouldn't be any surprise to y'all. They are very, very low. They are 29th in the NFL, which puts them at the 4th lowest in the league. The only teams lower than them were the New York Jets, Cleveland Browns, and Las Vegas Raiders. Which, I'll be honest, I'm surprised it's that high because we have seen the public media, the national media, hate on Miami quite a bit. I mean, Mike Florio in Pro Football Talk entering week 1 of last year had Miami at 32nd in the power rankings. And although he was proven true for the first month, Dolphins did end up winning 7 games. So you look at the league here and you're like, are the Dolphins for sure going to be better than the Raiders next year? I would take the Raiders over us. Number 1 overall pick, $100 million in cap space. You look at the Jets, and I know this is going to be hard for me to say, and it's going to be hard for you guys to hear. They have the number 2 overall pick. There's absolutely world where the Jets are better than Miami next season, especially with them having a lot more cap space than the Fins. Browns, they're probably going to be bad. But, the point I'm making is, Miami's going to be bad next year. And I think most of you guys realize this. And even though the Dolphins finished the year 7-10 and picking 11 in the draft, if you look at ESPN's Football Power Index, FPI, which is based off on results, simulations, 1,000 results, they take into a bunch of these analytics into it. Miami had the 2nd worst FPI last year at negative 9.7. So you look at a team that was really bad analytically, somehow got 7 wins, and then is going to have negative cap space in the 11th pick. Yeah, it's probably not going to be a pretty year for Miami. But subscribe nonetheless because we were going to continue to bring you daily Dolphins coverage, whether it's reacting to ESPN, whether it's breaking down news. Make sure you hit that sub button. 70 subscribers away from 80,500. But the 3-word tagline for the Miami Dolphins from ESPN, time to rebuild. And honestly, it's a perfect 3-word tagline. If you ask me to find a 3-word tagline for the Dolphins this offseason in 2026, I think I would choose time to rebuild. Actually, I might do draft, develop, retain. That might be it as well. That's what the new regime wants. But ESPN, Dolphins, hired a new general manager and head coach this season. Stephen Ross avoided the half measures by resetting the entire organization. Miami wants to establish a new culture, an act that often requires a shuffling of both players and personnel. With a difficult schedule, thin roster, and limited starting quarterback options, the Dolphins are likely facing at least a year-long rebuild in 2026. And absolutely no lies told. This is going to be a rebuilding year for the Miami Dolphins. And I want to say this almost as a public announcement, a PSA, if you will. Fans, I'm asking you, please be patient. We know, and I know people say in the chat, I know, I say it all the time, which is why I don't know why people act as if I don't think this, but the Dolphins aren't going to be good next year. And there are also absolutely no shortcuts in rebuilding. If you try to take shortcuts while rebuilding and building out a roster, you will fail. You know who tried to take shortcuts? Chris Greer. He thought he had something going with back-to-back years of multiple first-round picks, 3 in 2020, 2 in 2021, adds Tua, Austin Jackson, Iggy, Jalen Waddle, Jalen Phillips. Thinks he's heading in the right way. And then he goes, trade for Tyreek Hill, trade for Bradley Chubb. He tried to take a shortcut, and it bit him in the ass. So for you guys, you got to realize that if Miami wants to be a playoff contender and a Super Bowl contender 3-5 years from now, you are going to have to treat the next 2 years, 2026 and 2027, as patient and be vigilant with trades, with signings, and you got to hit on your draft picks. You have to hit on your draft picks. More coming here, but today's show is brought to you by Ethos. After seeing someone close to me go through loss, I saw how quickly grief can turn into financial stress. That experience changed how I think about protecting my future. Life insurance isn't about expecting the worst, but it's about making sure the people you love are supported no matter what. That's why I recommend life insurance through Ethos. Ethos makes getting life insurance fast and easy, 100% online. You can get a quote in seconds, apply in minutes, and get same-day coverage. Application times may vary. There's no medical exam. You just answer a few simple health questions. And it's not just me who trusts Ethos. Ethos has 4.8 out of 5 stars on Trustpilot with over 3,000 reviews. Help protect your family with life insurance through Ethos. Get your instant free quote at ethos.com/NFL Daily. That is ethos.com/NFL Daily. Application times and rates may vary. You look at the Dolphins draft capital currently going into April's draft. This could have a lot of change. Like, you could add draft picks by trading Tua maybe, trading Bradley Chubb, Minkah Fitzpatrick. But Miami's in a good spot. They have 5 picks inside the top 90. 5 picks in the first 3 rounds. That will allow you to add a lot of talent. And I've said this a couple times. I'll say it again. And then you hate to quantify what Miami needs to do in the draft. But if you aren't getting 3 building blocks, starters, and pillars inside those 90 picks where you have 5 of them, you've got issues. And we know what Miami has to go after, right? Like, on offense, you've got to find a quarterback. Now, are you going to do it in the draft this year? I don't know. Might be better to just get a bridge guy and wait for 2027. But you need to upgrade your wide receiver room, your tight end room. You need to add more offensive linemen. And specifically, a lot needs to happen defensively on that defensive line, getting edge rushers. You need to help that secondary a ton at corner, nickel, safety. Like, you start to look at the Dolphins' current roster, all of the needs, and there's just no way that anyone, in my opinion, can come away with looking at this Dolphins roster and believing that they should do anything but take best player available. I will say, for Miami in the draft, it should be best player available every single time besides one position, and that's running back. Because you don't need a running back, right? You have Devon Achane, Jalen Wright, and Ollie Gordon, but you could make the argument at every other position, just take the best player that's there. And there are 5 players that I think need to be discussed as absolutely no-brain selections at 11. I will say this until I go to my grave, which could also just be April 25th. I think it's the day after. It might be the 24th. Either way. If the Dolphins are on the board at 11 and any of these 5 guys are available, it is a must-take. Francis Mauigoa will be an awesome offensive lineman in the NFL. He can play inside. He can play outside. Miami needs guard play. They need a long-term right tackle. Mauigoa could be perfect. David Bailey and Ruben Bain, I think both ultimately go in the top 10. Stud edge rushers. I think they'll hit. And then the 2 Ohio State defensive players. Caleb Downs is going to be an all-pro safety in his career. I really feel that way. Now, he might not make it past wherever the Giants are picking because they need a safety. They're picking either 6 or 7. Sonny Styles is the one where I really think could be on the board for Miami at 11. This guy's a star, dude. This guy's a star. And yeah, I know Miami has Jordan Brooks. They have Tyrell Dodson under contract. Guess what? Dodson could be cut. Brooks is entering the final year of his deal. Sonny Styles would be a day 1 impact and floor raiser for that defense. If any of those 5 guys are on the board, take them. And if multiple are on the board, perfect. Then you get to choose. But if it's only 1, easy selection in my opinion. Now, on the chance that all 5 are gone, I still think there's another tier of prospects, 5 of them, that's where you'd have to go after. Spencer Fanu, the offensive lineman from Utah, he's an option I really like. But then it comes to the outside, right? Corner, wide receiver. Because both their needs, Jordan Tyson and Mekhi Lemon are my 2 favorites. I think Carnell Tate is my wide receiver 3 at this point. He also might be the first wide receiver off the board, ironically enough. Mansour Delane and Jermad McCoy are the 2 top corners. Delane is viewed as maybe more of the safer pick. He is my CB1. McCoy was a projected top 5 pick, and then he tears his ACL in the offseason and didn't play this past year. That complicates things because his 2024 tape tells you he should be a number 1 pick type of guy. Not number 1 maybe, but like let's just say top 5, top 10. So full transparency, famous last words. It's going to be pretty hard for the Dolphins to screw this pick up. Like, really, if they just take any of the 10 players we talked about, they will have success. And you could say, well, they pick 11. What if all 10 are gone? Not possible, right? Fernando Mendoza, Arvel Reese, 2 players that not mentioned on today's show. They're going 1 and 2 in all likelihood, which means one of the 10 players we just talked about, no matter what, will be on the board at 11. So it's pretty easy. Just take one of those 10, even if it's Jordan Tyson or Mekhi Lemon at wide receiver, because both of them would be unbelievable. Tyson, I think, is a star. And I know a lot of people like Mekhi Lemon as well. Rounding out today's show, you have to make smart investments in free agency. You have to make smart investments in the draft. Best player available in the draft, smart investments in free agency, no reckless big contracts. I'm probably not going more than $10 or $11 million on a multi-year deal per season. You want to sign someone to a 3-year, $30 million deal, that's cool. That's fine. But I probably wouldn't go much more than that because you need to keep it year by year and kind of treat 2026 as a gap year. If you see an opportunity to add someone you think is a building block in free agency, go ahead. But smart, vigilant investments. And we'll round out the show with key dates for the Dolphins fans. So you're aware, we're 2 weeks away from the NFL Combine. February 23rd through, I think, March 1st or March 2nd is when it is. We'll see a lot of interviews with prospects. We'll see some rumors pop out about who Miami could be interested in trading, signing in free agency when it opens up on March 9th. And then obviously the draft is April 23rd. So earlier in the show when I said the 25th, I meant to say 24th because that would be day 2 of the draft. It is time to rebuild. I'll go back to that tagline that ESPN used. Time to rebuild. Build, 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 build. Now, would I like to do it through the trenches? Yes, I would. But if people in the draft, especially in that first round, is the best player available isn't someone on the offense or defensive line, then you got to go elsewhere and go linebacker or wide receiver or corner or safety. But it is time to rebuild. Who is your favorite free agent target? Let me know. Got 150 people in the building.
And also, we need to get some more questions for our mailbag coming up.
Rob Havenstein retires from the Rams. Was he not one of the top free agents this year?
I feel like he's been around.
Let me look. I feel like he was. Let's look here. Spot track. Offensive tackle.
Make sure you guys get on the show. Our mailbag coming up after this next segment. Use hashtag Dolphins or Super Chat to get on the show. We've already got 3 Super Chats in the pipeline ready to go. Those are guaranteed to get on.
I guess I was thinking of someone else.
Make sure you get your question on, though. Use hashtag Dolphins or Super Chat. Let me see how many questions we have. Oh, boy. 0. Besides the Super Chats.
No hashtag Dolphins questions?
0.
They're making us look bad in front of Ethan. This is not a good look.
Not a good look. Positive. I do have the right link in there, so it's not me.
That didn't cross my mind, but I'm glad you eased my mind.
Yep, I was just making sure. Brother says Greg Newsome as a favorite free agent target. I wouldn't mind Greg Newsome.
Hey,
Stay
with
tuned.
us. Stay with us. He's going to be an option.
Oh, we haven't talked about the logo theory yet.
Not on the live show. No way. Charlie Woods committed to Florida State.
Wow. Good for him.
For the Seminoles.
Yeah, I guess that makes sense. Grew up his whole life in Florida. Surprised he's not going straight pro.
He's not. No, I think that's really not
it's not really a thing.
Thing anymore.
Yeah. But I mean, very rarely. I know Jordan played like 1 year at Texas before he went.
Yeah.
Everyone pretty much goes to college, yeah. There you go. Brother got our first hashtag Dolphins in.
Shout out to BR. Let's get a couple more. Let's get 5 before we do this last one.
W fam.
Our guy Joey O'Donoghue did a Browns mock draft.
Did he?
Tweeted it out. And he said, hell yeah, trading down, baby. Moved from 6 to 13 with the Rams.
Mm-hmm.
And he drafted Francis Malinois at 13. Brother, do I have news for you.
He will not be there.
I think there's a better chance of you actually texting Alex Earl 30 minutes ago than Francie Mawinoa being on the board at 13.
I wish I was texting Alex Earl.
I think there's no world he's on the board for Miami at 11, and I just like to be optimistic by putting on my shows.
You don't think so?
Yeah.
You don't think there's any world he's there at
No,
11?
I think he's the best offensive lineman, and I think most people believe that as well. And the best offensive lineman,
They're going top 10.
it has to be a really bad offensive line class for the best one not to go in the top 10.
Agreed. See a hashtag Dolphins there from Matt as well.
Let's get one more. We got 3 super chats, 2 questions. Let's get one more.
They're beginning to roll in. Yeah, we've got 4 of them. Got 4 of them. Now, let me ask you this question, and I think this is, well, no. You'll answer this question in the mailbag, but I'll answer this question right now from Matt, who says, 11 seems crazy high to pick a linebacker. Would it make more sense to trade back if LB is the top player at 11? If Sonny Styles is, if we go back to those top prospects at 11, let me take a look here. All 4 of these guys, the first 4 guys are gone, and Sonny Styles is on the board at 11. I wouldn't hate a trade down. I like Sonny Styles too, by the way.
You would trade down, you think?
A Sonny Styles and Jordan Brooks LB duo would be so nice, though.
Sonny Styles is disgusting. He didn't
He's
He didn't miss a single tackle this year, guys.
I really like Sonny Styles, so I'd be happy with taking him. Tell me what the trade down is, what kind of draft capital they're receiving. I could see it either way.
I put these 5 as no-brainers out there. I think the first 3, without a question, are not making out of the top 10.
I would agree, and I know positional value. Caleb Downs is getting picked, I think, too.
That, if the 2 players out of those 5 that I think is most likely to be on the board at 11 is definitely Downs and Styles.
Caleb Downs is like, he steps in and he's an all-pro safety.
Yeah, I know, but like my thing is that you go through the history of the last decade and you look at safeties.
I know,
how
they're not
many of
big
them
time.
were drafted in the top 10. Has there been a top 10 drafted safety since Jamal Adams?
I can't even, not that I can recall off the top of the head.
I don't think. Let's run through this real quick.
What about Xavier McKinney?
No. I don't think there has been. A 2017
Starks
NFL
was
draft.
at the back.
Results. I'm just going to double check this. 27 NFL draft results. Jamal Adams was that first round 27. I can't remember if he was 2017 or 2016. So he went top 10. He went 6th. 2018, the first safety was Minka at 11.
Yeah.
So where Miami's picking this year. I think that's also the last time we had the 11th overall pick. 2019, the first safety off the board was Darnell Savage at 21. 2020, first safety off the board didn't come until the 2nd round, Xavier McKinney.
Mm-hmm.
2021, the first safety off the board was Javon Holland, round 2.
The Dolphins love safeties high up.
2022,
Chris Greer, at least.
first safety off the board, a similar prospect, in my opinion, to Caleb Downs. I do think Downs is slightly better. Kyle Hamilton, pick 14. Most people said this guy's a top 5 player in that draft. He went 14.
Now, the difference between Hamilton and Downs is I think Hamilton's a little more versatile, and you can move him wherever, including like off the edge and anywhere on the field. I think Downs is more of a true safety. But nevertheless, I would agree that
2023, there was not a safety taken in the first round. 2024, there was not a safety taken in the first round. And then last year, we know we didn't get a top 10 pick. First safety off the board was Malachi Starks.
late in the first.
27.
Yeah.
To the Ravens. So, like, even though I think, and I know a lot of people believe that Caleb Downs is, regardless of positional value, a top 5, top 3 guy in this draft, we just have such a large sample size of not drafting safeties that high because people don't view that position that valuable compared to corners, wide receiver, defensive line, edge, offensive line, quarterbacks, obviously.
Just think about how
the last one was 2017, Jamal Adams.
I know.
And then the only other
he
one
flamed
is
out
the
of the
year
league,
after, Minkah Fitzpatrick 2018 at 11.
And Minka's still playing at a very high level, but dude, I just think about Caleb Downs just like securing the middle of your field. Like you won't have to worry about anything over the middle of the field.
Like Minkah Fitzpatrick could absolutely be traded. He's getting older.
But he's great.
I do think he's a great fit in Miami. Could you imagine?
Oh my God.
Minkah Fitzpatrick, Caleb Downs safety duo.
Be unbelievable.
I would tell you right now, you could say a lot of things about the 2026 Dolphins. One thing you can't say,
I got a bad safety.
They would have the best in the NFL.
In the league, yeah.
I truly believe Caleb Downs and Minkah Fitzpatrick, if they were teammates next year in Miami, best safety duo in the NFL.
I don't disagree whatsoever. Gomez came in with the 5 and said, what about Alontae Taylor?
Corner, nickel corner from New Orleans. Ultimately have to see how much he'll get in free agency, but I do like him.
I like Alontae Taylor.
Yeah, he'll definitely get potentially on there. We'll see. We'll talk more about him in the mailbag, Sebastian. Appreciate you. And appreciate everybody else who got a question. And I think another Sebastian got a question. I don't know if it's the same person or not.
Not the same person.
I didn't think so either. Sebastian Sagastizado.
Yeah, that one I can't help you on.
Sagastizado. Sebastian Sagastizado.
That's a hell of a last name.
I get it.
Yeah.
Sagastizado.
I won't tell you you're wrong.
Sagastizado. I think I kind of drilled that.
You're a name guy.
No, I'm not. He says I got it. Let's go.
Got a kid.
Tried. It might take me a while, but.
Alrighty. Let me double check here, but I think we are all good.
Let's do it. Over 155 people watching. Another segment coming in here. Dream Dolphins free agent targets. Dream. Yeah, I got it. NFL free agency is less than a month away. Today's show, we're looking at dream free agent targets at the top positions of need for the Miami Dolphins. So I want to preface this right now. The players we're talking about today, they're a little bit more on the pricier side, which is why this video is titled, and we're emphasizing it now, Dream Free Agent Targets. But let's start by looking at the needs. I think the top 4 needs on offense and defense are as follows. Specifically on defense, defensive end, boundary corner, nickel, safety. On offense, you got quarterback, you got right tackle, you got wide receiver 2, you got tight end. So there's a lot of needs here. But if you really boil it down, combine not only offense and defense, but the entire roster and rank the needs of each for Miami, I think number 1 is quarterback. I would say number 2 is edge. Number 3 is cornerback. 4 is right tackle. 5 is tight end. In order. So we're going to look at one dream free agent at each of these positions on today's show. And we'll start with number 1 at quarterback. And I don't think there's much suspense here on who we're going to put as our dream free agent target for Miami. But you look at some of these names out there. Obviously, the 3 headliners are Daniel Jones, Malik Willis, Aaron Rodgers. Sounds like Rodgers, if he plays next year, will be with Pittsburgh and Mike McCarthy again. Daniel Jones is likely returning to Indianapolis and Shane Steichen, which leaves us our dream quarterback target, no soccer, Malik Willis. A player we've talked about a lot on the channel, and we'll continue to talk a lot about him. And I'm not going to bore people here because we have mentioned him so much as a target. But how about this, guys? Earlier this offseason, the contract projection from SpotTrack for Malik Willis was 1 year, $10.5 million. They have updated that projection as we're a month away from free agency to 2 years, $71.1 million, averaging out to $35.5 million a year. They are taking into account the desperation from some teams in the NFL. There's about 8 to 10 teams that need to add quarterback. You look, Miami needs to, the Jets need to, the Browns need to, the Vikings, the Steelers, the Falcons, the Cardinals. Like, the list goes on and on here. You're going to get close to 7, 8, 9, 10 teams that need a quarterback. And that ultimately might drive up the price point on Malik Willis in free agency. And I'm just going to state the obvious. If Malik Willis is going to command that type of deal in free agency, you can count Miami out. Would Jeff Hafley and John Eric Sullivan like to bring Willis in? Probably. Are they going to spend more than $20 million per year, let alone 35? I severely doubt that. So sorry to burst the bubbles of Dolphins fans that want Malik Willis, but if that contract is a possibility for Willis this offseason, we will not see Malik Willis in Miami. Which brings us over to our edge group, which is a lot more diverse. These are the top edges in free agency, in my opinion. There's some interesting names here. Caleb Von Chasen, coming off a Super Bowl run with the Patriots, former top pick. He played with the Raiders a couple years ago, went to LSU. You got Boye Mafe, you got Adofa Owe, Trey Hendrickson is a free agent, Malcolm Kuntz, a player we've talked a ton about, and Kingsley Enagbari. It's a very diverse group, but if we're going to be honest, it isn't that great. Like, you have Trey Hendrickson, who's a star, but he's also 31 years old, dealt with injuries this past year, and wants probably $30 million per season. That's not going to happen, even in a dream scenario for Miami. And you look at some of these other guys, like Odafe Owe, his projection in his contract is like $17 million per year. No offense to him, he's a good player. But $18 million a year? 3 for 54? Hell no. So you have to be really selective with who you add. We've talked a ton about Kingsley Enagbari, but if you're asking me my dream target at edge when it comes into potential upside, but also a little bit pricey, but not crazy pricey, it's going to be Malcolm Kuntz, the edge from the Las Vegas Raiders. And this is a scary guy to add. There's no sugarcoating that. He didn't play in 2024. Why? Tore his ACL before the year in the summer. But the year before tearing his ACL, he was a rising star. In 2023 with Las Vegas, 9 TFLs, 8 sacks, 3 forced fumbles. Him and Max Crosby look like a pretty nice duo. And then he misses 2024, comes back in 2025. Raw production isn't there, decreases a little bit, but plays in all 17 games. Like, if you take away 2024, he's played in all 17 games in every year of his career. And you look at his pass rush win rate, and yeah, the raw production isn't there this season as it was the year that he had 8 sacks in 2023, but the pass rush win rate stayed the same. In 2023, when he had 8 sacks, it was 14.2%. This past year, only 4 sacks, 14.4% pass rush win rate. This guy I still think is a very capable player, and he's still relatively young, 27 years old. And with his contract projection being only about a 2-year, $20 million deal in free agency, if Miami did want to go out and spend a $10 million per year contract on a free agent edge, I think I would be willing to sign off on it being Malcolm Kuntz because of the promise he showed in 2023. And then even though the raw production doesn't back it up this year, the tape in the pass rush win rate analytics backs it up. Malcolm Kuntz, keep your eye on this young cat. And keep your eye on GLD. Listen, buying jewelry used to be difficult because you never know if you're getting good quality or you're getting overpriced, cheap junk with ridiculous markups. GLD, you don't got to worry about that. You're getting quality pieces that are built to last without breaking the bank. And for a limited time only, new customers are getting an insane deal. Use code CHAT to get 50% off at GLD.com. GLD has an official collab with the NFL, so you can get every NFL team on a pendant this season. They also have collabs with other sports league and even DC Comics. They have chains and pendants that let you rep what you love. You can create custom pieces. GLD can bring it to life. And you see the silver Dolphins chain and pendant I have in studio. When you have this thing in your hand, you can just tell how high quality it is. You can get this. You can get your own custom piece. But work hard and change the game. For a limited time only, new customers get an insane deal. Use code CHAT to get 50% off at GLD.com. That's 50% off with code CHAT at GLD.com. After you purchase, they'll ask you where you heard about them. Please support our show and tell them we sent you. Number 3 on my needs list was cornerback. So these are the top 10 corners on the market, in my opinion. A lot of intriguing names here. And I'll say this. In complete opposition to the edge free agent room, I think there's a lot of solid corners. You can find some in the slot. You've got Alontae Taylor. You've got D. Alford, who wasn't even listed on that list. You've got some boundary guys out there like Josh Jobe. You've got guys like Reek Woolen, Jalen Watson, Nashawn Wright, who came out of nowhere and had almost double-digit picks for Chicago this year. You got Eric Stokes. But how about this name? Greg Newsome, the former first-round pick out of Northwestern, who was traded from Cleveland to Jacksonville before the NFL trade deadline this season. I talked about Miami trading for Newsome themselves before the deadline, even though they weren't going to be buyers, because this is a buy low, day 3, 4th round pick you send to Cleveland, and then you could get him in your building, test him out, and maybe extend him. And I'll admit, Newsome was really good in 2024, got off to a good start with Cleveland in 2025, but was not very good for Jacksonville after the trade, right? Gave up 5 touchdowns, and the QB rating skyrocketed when targeted. But all of that might actually benefit Miami because it could lower Newsome's asking price in free agency. And the contract projection from SpotTrack right now is 3 years, $27 million, which comes out to $9 a year. That, if Miami was going to go sign a free agent corner, is one of the more friendly deals you can ask for. Kid's only 25, 26 years old, former first-round pick. He's athletic. He's got length. And if Jeff Hafley and John Eric Sullivan identify him as a good scheme fit, I would be more than willing to spend $9 million per year on Newsome. You could even backload that deal potentially to take some of the cap hit away in 2026. Gives you more flexibility. I am a big fan of Greg Newsome. I wanted the Dolphins to trade for him a year ago, and now I'm going to talk about him being probably my dream signing for Miami in free agency at the cornerback position. We're going to talk about offensive line here, but we're not going to go that in depth about it because the truth is I can't tell you that we're going to go out and sign a big name guy, a starting level dude, until I know Austin Jackson isn't going to be here. Because it doesn't really make sense to go out and sign a Jermaine Illuminor, a Rasheed Rocker, a Braden Smith if you're going to keep Austin Jackson. But Vidarian Lowe is a name that I want fans to continue to monitor. I think he is a really good swing tackle for Minnesota Vikings. So John Eric Sullivan knows him well in division, was with New England last year and this past season after a trade. And we saw Lowe struggle in New England. But he really played well this year. I mean, you see in 2024 when he was a starter in New England, he stunk it up. But in 2025, when he filled in for Will Campbell in the final 5 weeks of the year before Will Campbell returned, he was good. Mid-60s, only 1 sack. I mean, Patriots fans borderline wanted to bench Will Campbell in the playoffs to start Vidarian Lowe at left tackle. That's how well he played this season for New England. I don't think he's going to get a big contract. Projection by SpotTrack right now sits at about a 1-year, $2.5 million deal. I would do that with Lowe to get him in as a swing tackle because he could provide you depth for a Patrick Paul injury at left tackle or maybe even make the start at right tackle, something he hasn't done in a while, but I think he could do. And then comes tight end. Maybe the position we've talked about the most this offseason. Like we've talked about Kyle Pitts, we've talked about David Njoku, and I think when you look at the tight end room this year, there's a lot of good options in free agency. And I'm targeting someone young. So I'm eliminating Darren Waller, I'm eliminating Noah Fant, David Njoku, and Dallas Goedert. Because if I'm investing in someone in free agency with a bigger contract and a dream guy, I'm going to want someone that I can trust to still be playing at a high level in 2028 or 2029. So I'm looking at Cade Otton, Chikakonkwo, Isaiah Likely, and my actual dream target, Kyle Pitts. Mentioned him in a video a couple weeks ago. I don't know what he gets in free agency. I think he get anywhere between 11 and like $15 million, probably closer to the latter there. But if Miami can afford him and get him on a 4-year, $45 million deal, that's something that I don't think you can pass up. This guy was drafted 4th overall because he is an absolute physical, athletic freak that is a mismatch against linebackers and safeties. And even though he's had some down years and hasn't been as dominant as people thought he was going to be when he was drafted out of Florida, he was awesome against man coverage in 2025. Playing with quarterbacks, by the way, Kirk Cousins, Michael Penix, that weren't very good. He was first in receptions and yards against man coverage, 3rd in yards per route run, 2nd in receiving grade. And his numbers didn't even fall off that much against zone. And you look at his difference between slots and screens, he is one of the better slot route running tight ends out there. He got basically no production from screens. So when you see him dominate, it's because he's just beating people with his route running. He ain't getting manufactured receptions and just playing well after the catch like a guy in Miami, Jonnu Smith, did a couple of years ago. No, he's beating people over the middle of the field. And I mentioned it. It all depends on contract with him. But in this perfect world where I'm getting my dream target at tight end, Kyle Pitts, the spot track projection of 4 years, $43.6 million. Perfect. I mean, I'm serious. Like, Kyle Pitts isn't perfect. He's been a little bit of a disappointment. He's had his deficiencies. Not the greatest blocker in the world. But to get a player still only 25 with his size, his repertoire, and ability to be a mismatch at times over the middle of the field and in the red zone for $11 million per season, that's something even Miami would have to do. All right, there's one dream free agent target at every top position of need, in my opinion, for Miami. Out of the 5 players we talked about today, who is your favorite? Kyle Pitts, Vidarian Lowe, Greg Newsome, Malik Willis, and Malcolm Kuntz. Which one is it? And make sure you subscribe, because when free agency arrives in about a couple of weeks, we will have you covered with every piece of news and rumors you need, every signing. We got you covered. Subscribe today. Coach, who was yours?
I'm surprised at Vidarian Lowe because I feel like Patriots fans, especially Brett Alper, our Patriots Today host, absolutely can't stand Vidarian Lowe. So that one surprised me. But my favorite one is obviously Kyle Pitts. I think he's an absolute stud.
What?
Did I just put you in a head loss there?
You said not only an hour ago, there's something about Kyle Pitts in Miami that doesn't make sense to you.
Correct. And what I'll say about this list, he is my favorite of that 5.
So you're just completely out on Greg Newsome,
Yeah,
Malik Willis,
I think Greg
and
Newsome,
Malcolm Kuntz?
I think Greg Newsome stinks.
Really?
Yeah, he had a really bad year. I think, look, we've talked about Kingsley Enagbare multiple times on the channel. It just makes too much sense for the Dolphins to sign him.
Well, yeah, I know, but we're talking about dream.
Dream? I would like Trey Hendrickson at edge.
That's too far of a dream. It also doesn't make sense.
You said dream.
Yeah, not that big.
Wow, so you're telling me not to dream big?
Yeah,
Fucked up.
I'm a realist.
Crazy. As far as CB goes,
You aim for the stars. You could aim for the stars. Trey Hendrickson, you'll land on the moon. Malcolm Kuntz.
as far as CBs go, I want to keep Rasul Douglas.
Okay, if you had to sign one of the 10 that were on that list, though, that isn't Greg Newsome, who would it be?
I'll go back to the list. I'm out on Deshaun Wright. Blows. Jalen Watson stinks.
Jalen Watson does not stink.
Stinks. Jamel Dean.
29,
old,
29, I'm a little
old.
bit out on that.
I like Alante Taylor.
Nickel guy. I don't know if
Yeah.
I'm spending that much money on a nickel guy.
Yeah, that's the only problem with Alante. A Reek Woolen deal, you could move me with Reek Woolen.
Don't know if he's a good fit, though.
You don't think?
Yeah, Woolen.
I mean, he kind of got run out of Seattle. Like, he will not be back in Seattle.
I don't think so. He ended up getting back in the good graces of Mike McDonald.
He did.
But he was out of the rotation in 2024.
I like Woolen a lot. I don't know. Newsome just had such a bad year. I'm scared. I'm scared of him.
second youngest player on this list, 25. I'll take the shot. He was really good last year, and it was really good in Cleveland. So he was really good with Jim Schwartz.
He was.
Goes elsewhere, new scheme, halfway through, not as good.
So you're going to be good with half.
Well, if they identify him as someone that's a good fit, it's a good target.
August Force is with me. What's the point of dreaming big? I want Trey Hendrickson.
Like, I'm dreaming. But I'm also dreaming.
Oh, you're not dreaming.
With the idea of that Miami has no chance to get Trey Hendrickson.
You're not dreaming.
So what would you guys recommend this video just talking about 5 guys that are completely unrealistic to get in free agency? Like, sure, that's dream, I guess. But, like, that video becomes pointless because there's no chance Miami actually makes that happen. I get that. So I mixed dreaming big, a.k.a. a little bit larger contract that we've talked about, but also realistic.
I get that.
Because, like, I could have named at corner Jalen Watson, who's going to get 17, 18 mil this
Now,
offseason.
I will say this. If indeed that Malik Willis projection comes true, he will not be a Dolphin.
If there were one player that Miami would maybe spend that much money on, it would be Willis.
Do you think they would give him 35 a season?
No, I don't.
No.
But if there was one where you could justify it
would be
due
him.
to Miami's cap space, it would be the quarterback.
Yeah.
Like, even if you have no cap space, but you're like, without a question, without a doubt, we believe Malik Willis is a franchise quarterback.
Then go do it.
Then go get your guy.
Yeah.
But
That's
you
fair.
better be fucking damn
be
right
sure.
that he is, or you're set back another 7 years.
No doubt. Let's see. We've got 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We've got a good amount of questions.
Oh, we're good on questions.
It appears, indeed.
That's great to hear, Mr.
Appears,
Coop.
indeed.
Great to hear, Mr. Coop.
Hold on me, amigos.
So we're going to get into our mailbag to round out the live show. Appreciate everybody still hanging out with us.
Grab this real quick.
AI is getting out of hand, man. Someone replied to my tweet about Derek Carr this morning about should Miami pursue him, the video, and someone said Malik Willis is on the way, and it's an AI video of just a random black dude in Miami Dolphins gear driving a U-Haul.
That does not look like Malik Willis.
It doesn't look like Malik Willis at all.
Nice.
Crazy.
Yeah, that's something. Okay.
Cooper,
Nice.
you ready?
Yeah, I like this.
I think this smacks.
Yeah, I like this. Oh my God, that Myles Garrett line's a joke.
I think this smacks.
You should put U.S. currency on it.
I did.
Oh, nice.
I did. By the way, I got sold on my prize picks for the Super Bowl because Travion
The big
Henderson. Well, I can say that now.
I know.
Travion Henderson got more than 5 rushing attempts. It was fade Hendo.
After he got that first draw for -4 yards, I was like, oh, he might not get the ball again.
He finished with like 6 or 7 rush attempts. I can't remember. But I had A.J. Barner receptions, smack. Took the Drake May free square. I think I did Diggs receptions. I think he hit it.
It was 4.5.
Where did he end?
I
I actually
remember
didn't
where he
check.
ended
I
up.
thought he did because he got a couple guard time late. No, he finished with 3. Never mind.
How about him spinning the ball, by the way? Down like 3 scores.
He got lit up, dude.
Yeah, unbelievable.
All right.
All right, final segment here on the show.
Today's show. Let's do it. We got another Miami Dolphins mailbag here. That is the edition of Dolphins Today by Chat Sports. I am Nic Rohloff. First question coming in from my guy Terpst here, who asking about the tight end position, says he wants David Njoku, Greg Dulcich, and Greg Newsome, so it goes corner as well. Try to trade down in the first round if the guy we want isn't on the board. Fins up, baby. Well, first let's briefly talk about David Njoku. I had a full video on him last week. I'm out on Njoku. Even though he said he's not going to re-sign with Cleveland, he's 29 years old, probably going to get $8 to $9 million per season on a multi-year deal. And with Miami being in its current cap situation, yeah, I want to invest in the tight end position, but does it make sense to do that with a 29-year-old with a lot of mileage on him? I don't know if it does. I think Miami would be way better off if they're going to go out and signing a tight end, going with a 25 or 26-year-old free agent like Kyle Pitts, Chig Okonkwo, Cade Otton, Isaiah Likely. So I'm out on Njoku. I absolutely want to sign Greg Dulcich, and I'm in on Greg Newsome. Producer Coop is not, but he played really good in 2024, played really good in the first month of the year under Jim Schwartz in Cleveland 2025, but struggled in the back half of the year in Jacksonville after being traded there. I think he's going to get $9, $10 million per season. If you could get Greg Newsome on a 3 for 27, 3 for 30 deal, I'm in on Greg Newsome. When it comes to trading down, it would definitely have to determine who's on the board. If you want more coverage of the Fins, go follow us on Instagram. @Dolphins Today IG is the handle. We're 130 away from 2 racks. I'll always say it. When we get to 2,000, we'll do a mailbag like this, but only from Instagram questions. Corey Belfaust with a 10. What's up, Corey? Looking forward to see how this giant Zach Kuntz plays. Yeah, Kuntz, tight end that John Eric Sullivan, Jeff Hafley signed to a futures deal just a week and a half ago. This guy is a behemoth, man. 6'8", 251, 7th round pick out of Old Dominion in the 2023 draft. Spent 2023 and 2024 with the Jets. Was waived after training camp in 2025. Actually drafted by the DC Defenders UFL team in January of this year, but ultimately signed with Miami, trying to get back to the NFL with that futures/reserves contract. Kuntz doesn't have a lot of production, only appeared in 2 NFL games in his career, but has the best relative athletic score in NFL Combine history. 4 tight ends, a perfect 10, number 1 out of 1,100 in the history. 6'8", 250, crazy athlete, looking to see what he can do and how he can develop with Miami. Brother, which Dolphins do you see being traded this offseason? I think there's a list of 4 or 5 guys. Tua's obviously going to be on that list, although I don't deem it likely. I think they ultimately release him because I don't know if there's going to be a team willing to trade for him, even if Miami pays most of that salary. Tyreek Hill will be named, but once again, that contract is so large, Miami would be better off just releasing him, probably with a post-June 1 designation. But then here's where we get into our legit trade candidates. I think Bradley Chubb is up there, has another year left on his deal. Miami can save $20 million if they trade him post-June 1st. Now, obviously, money wouldn't come in until then, but you can do that. He still had a solid year this past year, production-wise. Minkah Fitzpatrick's another name to keep an eye on. I don't know if Minkah gets traded, but I do think he's the most likely. I do, because he's got the most value still around the league, and he would provide some cap relief for Miami. If you had to ask me one player that the Dolphins trade, let me say Minkah Fitzpatrick, because I think he is the one that has the most value for this Dolphins team. We're going to get to some free agent targets here on today's show as we continue to get asked questions on this mailbag. But who is your favorite free agent target for Miami? Let me know you're that name. Sebastian Gomez with a 10. What about receivers? Do you think we keep Jalen Waddle or trade him? Another question. We also don't have any quarterbacks. Do we draft, trade, or sign one free agency? Well, let's answer with the Jalen Waddle one. Notice how I didn't put Waddle in my trade list just a second ago. Miami doesn't really save any money if they trade Waddle. This is the first year of his extension that he signed a couple years ago. So the Dolphins need to at least see this play out 1 year. And yeah, you could get a first-round pick in return, but it's not like you're saving money. And if you trade him for a first-round pick, you're probably just going to need to use that first-round pick on a wide receiver. Now, it's a good wide receiver class. Mekhi Lemon, Jordan Tyson, Carnell Tate, Denzel Boston, Malachi Fields, Zachariah Branch, Omar Cooper Jr., Elijah Surratt. But I just don't see that being something that makes a lot of sense. If you're going to trade Waddle, wait until the trade deadline where you can maybe ramp up his value, or next offseason where you could actually save some money and get a first-round pick in return. I don't think it makes sense to trade Jalen Waddle now. When it comes to the cornerback position, and Miami will do both. They have under contract Juju Brents, Storm Duck, Jason Marshall Jr. That's not going to cut it. You're going to have to sign one free agency. You could bring back a guy like Rasul Douglas or Jack Jones. You can go out and get a guy in free agency like a Greg Newsome, like a Reek Woolen, potentially. Maybe a Roger McCreary. But I do think Miami drafts one. It could be in the first round, Jamad McCoy, Mansour Delane. Could be in round 2, Avion Terrell, Chris Johnson, D'Angelo Pons. Going to be a lot of options out there for Miami at the cornerback position. They're probably going to add in free agency and the draft. WFAM, do you think Quinn Ewers could have a crazy good season and we are good next year with him? Is it on the board of outcomes? I say yes. Am I going to answer that way? No, I am not. Like, if you look at the range of outcomes, the high range of outcome is probably a Mac Jones rookie year. If you go back to what he did with New England, where he was solid, had about 23 touchdowns, 10 interceptions, didn't play crazy good, didn't play crazy bad, helped steer the ship. But that's probably the highest range of outcome for him. So is it on the board that he's good? Yeah. Is it on the board that he's going to be the franchise quarterback in Miami? No, probably not. I don't even know if he's going to start next year. Could be a draft pick, could be a veteran that Miami signs, whether it's Malik Willis, a Mitchell Trubisky, someone they trade for, like a Davis Mills, Tanner McKee, Anthony Richardson. I just don't see Quinn Ewers getting that opportunity. Will it be a QB battle? Sure. I don't know if he starts, though, and I'm not really sold on it. We'll see, though. I hope Quinn gets a chance to start because he showed me some nice things the final month of the year, but not enough to make me believe he can actually be a high-level quarterback in the NFL, at least right now. Get started with Prize Picks today. The football season is over, but we officially have basketball, hockey, and more. And you can get $50 instantly in lineups when you play your first $5. Prize Picks makes every dunk, every dime, and every board that much more exciting. So don't miss the chance to get started on America's #1 app for sports picks. Just pick more or less on at least 2 player stat projections. If you get your picks right, you could cash in. Pick from basketball, baseball, hockey, UFC, soccer, college basketball, tennis, golf, esports, and more. And guess what? You can already look forward to next football season. You can get in season-long projections already. And I already have a lineup in. And guess what? It's going to cash. More. Myles Garrett, 13.75 sacks. He just set the record. And we don't think he's going to get 14 sacks? That's crazy to me. Will Anderson, I think, is the top 3 edge in the game right now. We don't think he's going to get more than 10.5 sacks? That's crazy to me. Saquon Barkley, washed. Offensive line in Philly, shambles. Less. 12.25.5 rushing yards. That's my entry. Download the Prize Picks app today and use code CLNS to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. That's code CLNS to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. Prize Picks. It's good to be right. John Shire coming in with a question. John Shire. I don't know if that's how you say it, but Shire? John Shire, Duke head coach. Liar, by the way. Nobody on that staff got punched when North Carolina stormed the court. What do you think about Akeem Mesidor from the Miami Hurricanes? I've seen a lot of mixed results on Mesidor, to be honest. Like, he obviously dominated some of those playoff games, helped Ruben Bain a ton, helped Miami get to the national championship game. He's physical. He showed up when it mattered. He's productive. I've seen Mel Kiper have him mocked in the first round of the draft. I've seen other people have him go in first round of their mock drafts. I've also seen people have him go in round 2 and early round 3. So I think as of right now and getting asked these questions in mid-February before the NFL Combine, there's a wild range of outcomes for Mesidor in the draft. I think it's a little early at 11. I probably wouldn't take him there. I think there's better players on the board at different positions, whether it be corner, wide receiver, linebacker, safety, offensive line. So I'm not sure I'd be in on Mesidor at 11, but if he has a good combine, kind of cements himself as a first-round pick, and Miami trades back from pick 11 to like 2021 and takes on a couple more day 2 selections and wants to take Mesidor in the early 20s, that I could be in on. But at 11, I think it's just a little bit too much for me. So it would have to either be a trade back or if he's there at 43 in the second round. Make sure you subscribe to get on the next mailbag. Because if we don't get to 2,000 followers on IG, the next mailbag we do is when we're live on the channel next week. So, got to subscribe, turn on notifications, and join us on our weekly live shows to get on the mailbag. Matt, 11th pick seems crazy high to pick a linebacker. Wouldn't it make sense to trade back if linebacker's top player at 11? He is referring to me saying that I would, without a question, take Sonny Styles, the linebacker from Ohio State, if he was on the board at 11. I stand by that. I have a list of 5 guys that, like, if they're on the board at 11, I am, like, without a hesitation picking them. Francis Mauigoa, who I don't think is going to be there, would take him in a heartbeat, can play guard and offensive tackle. David Bailey and Ruben Bain at edge, I think, are studs. They're going to be awesome in the NFL. I firmly believe Caleb Downs is like a all-pro in his first year level guy. Like, that's how good he is. Is it going to happen? I don't know, but it's potential. And then Sonny Styles. Like, I understand it's not the biggest need for Miami. They have Jordan Brooks. They have Tyrell Dotson under contract. But I start to look at Miami, and it's just like, why on God's green earth should we not treat this as just taking best player available, right? And to me, Sonny Styles is the top 7 player in this draft, regardless of positional value. Same thing with Caleb Downs. So if those two are there, even if the positional value isn't that high, I am just on the board for taking best player available, impact, high-level guys. Sonny Styles is that. He would be a menace with Jeff Hafley in Miami. I would take him. If he was on there, no need to trade back. John Russell, would Drew Aller be worth taking in the 5th or 6th round as a reclamation project for a QB whisperer coach? Question is, do we have a QB whisperer coach? As of filming this, we don't have a quarterback coach. Nathaniel Hackett didn't take the job. He went to the Cardinals to be their OC. Bobby Slowick's there, but is he a QB whisperer? I don't know. I don't think Miami has a quarterback whisperer coach right now. So you got to find one of those guys first. But am I in on trade or drafting Drew Aller? Yeah, I am. 6'5", 6'6", rocket arm. And yeah, there's a ton of inaccuracies, a ton of footwork issues, questions on if he could process the field, see the field well. The raw talent's there. And you look at a Green Bay Packers-style quarterback, tall, upright, cannon of an arm. Well, Green Bay Packers-level quarterbacks and prototypes are now Miami, because we are basically Packer South. So, yeah, I do think Aller is worth taking in the 5th or 6th round. There's a chance if he has a good combine, good pro day, meets with teams, and excels these meetings, he'd go in the second, I wouldn't say second, but 3rd or 4th round. So, 5th, 6th round, certainly on the board, in my opinion. All right, I'll do it for today's show. If you want a Q&A from our Instagram, go give us a follow. 130 away from 2 racks. That's when we'll do it. All right.
That's a live show.
That's the live show. And that's baseball.
And that's baseball, folks.
That's baseball. I love that saying.
6 weeks away? 7 weeks away from opening day?
Yeah, pitchers and catchers reported today, right? Or is it
for
tomorrow?
some, yeah. Be a good season for your Metropolitans.
No, I don't care.
Oh, yes, you do.
Dodgers ruined the sport, unfortunately.
They did. They did ruin the sport.
Dodgers ruined the sport, unfortunately.
We won't have baseball in 27 because of it.
Yeah, we're going to have a lockout, that's
Yep.
for sure. It's like no-brainer. No doubt about that.
Yep.
Yeah, we'll see.
Is
Maybe
what
an
it is.
asteroid hit the Earth. A small one. Only wipes out California. I'm in.
Specifically Dodger Stadium.
Yeah. Why not?
I don't wish death on anyone.
I didn't say that.
I know you didn't. You just wish death on the stadium
Yeah.
with no one in it.
No one in it, of course. We evacuate everybody. But the Dodgers cease to exist.
So a proverbial nuke on the Dodgers.
How about this? Dodgers found cheating.
Love it.
Probably are. They're forced to disband.
Oh, there's no probably. They are.
And then their players have to sign elsewhere.
The Dodgers, the Braves, the Astros all need to go.
You just said the Braves because you want to get in my good graces.
Is that true?
Yes. Why? There's no reason for you to hate the Braves.
Am I not in your good graces?
Well, you are, but you just really wanted to cement yourself in there.
No, I was just trying to see if it would strike a nerve.
Well, you agreed with me. You said the Braves are cheating.
Maybe they are, maybe they aren't. I just know you think they are.
Spencer Schwellenbach, 60-day IR. Shame. Hope he gets back.
That's talking baseball.
That's baseball. And that's baseball. All right, that's going to do it for today's live show. Appreciate the people that super chat. Sebastian Gomez, Corey Belfaust, Terps. You guys are legends.
Goats.
We'll be back live again next week. Good audience once again. What's up with the Braves hate? I'm a Mets fan. Fuck the Braves. Sorry. Hate them so much. Honestly,
they're your most hated team in sports.
they are. The Braves are my least favorite team in sports. The New York Yankees coming at number 2. The Buffalo Bills coming at number 3. The Boston Celtics at number 4. The New York Knicks at number 5. And then we probably go back to baseball for the Dodgers at 6. Then the New York Jets at 7.
Going top 10?
Milwaukee Bucks at 8.
Love that. Really? Just because of...
Njoku. Well, they meddled with Damian Lillard, too.
Oh, true.
Portland Trail Blazers at 9.
Joe Cronin. That about
Texas
all you got?
Football.
I knew you were going there. I literally knew you were going there. That's good stuff.
You're saying, what the heck, bro? That's a lot of hate. I am number 1 hater.
The Astros are number 1, followed by the Eagles at number 2. Then you have, I mean, if we're counting colleges, it's A&M. I would actually put A&M number 2 behind the Astros.
I just said Texas football to troll.
Oh, I know.
If I really wanted to put a real top 10, Duke basketball would be the 10th.
Ooh, I like that one. Sorry, Ethan. I'll put Oklahoma number 4. And then I'll put the Eagles number 5.
For someone who doesn't care as much as about the NFL.
Oh, I legitimately hate the Eagles.
But you had them twice in there, didn't you?
No, I slid them down.
Okay. All right, that's going to do it for today.
Yeah, that'll do it.
Appreciate everybody for hanging out with us. We'll see you next week. For Coop Rowley, Ethan, peace out.
Adios.